I believe it's something that is meant to be done daily and not wait for special occasions like we're all waiting out, looking for the Independence Day celebrations. It is something that we're supposed to be doing on a daily. The kind of people that you stay with in the different organizations, so good to take people for granted. But if you celebrate them, embrace them, appreciate them, that works for us. And that is what we do right here at the National Broadcaster during this very hour, as we celebrate and appreciate the women out there who strive every single day in all the different sectors they do work in. My name is Sandra once again, and this morning we celebrate the women once again. And this morning I am happy to be joined by Namatovu Rona, just next to me, and then you'll also be having Nalugo Brenda. They're both community psychologists. I want to get to know what's really behind being a psychologist. A lot happens. Depression, there's a month where we dedicated that particular month to talk about mental health. Things get out of hand. You cannot have it all, but at least you can be able to place your best foot forward and live a purposeful life. And if people appreciate you, it's good to give a smile. If you give a smile, definitely, if it's genuine, you receive a smile back. So if you appreciate and celebrate those around you and don't take them for granted, most definitely you'll have the same coming through to you. Allow me to introduce my panel to you this morning. They're here to celebrate with us and they're here to inspire you, because at the National Broadcaster, it's all about inspiration. You're most welcome. Rhoda, good morning.
Good morning, Sandra.
Hi, Brenda.
Hello, Sandra.
How are you doing, ladies?
Doing fine and very happy to be here.
Yeah, it's pleasing to be here.
Okay. Well, psychology. We shall get straight into our conversation. Do I have to go for a course, or is that bit of like that inner voice? It's something that I'm passionate about. It's something that I really want to do. I find myself, if I'm blessed here, I'll definitely be a blessing to many. Or you really had to take it to the professional level. I'll start with Rona.
Okay, personally, I started off with that bit of, I didn't know so much about it. Like growing up, I didn't know anything about psychology, honestly. So I got to learn about it when I reached campus. But during my course of studying, the course of community psychology, there was something that was awakened in me. Because growing up, I thought maybe I would be a lawyer, maybe I would be a journalist. But during the course of studying so much about psychology and the community, I realized that there was that need for it in the community, and somehow it's more of purpose awakening in me. And I didn't just study it for the sake of, okay, now I have the degree and okay, let me get done with it, then go out there and do whatever I want to do. No, after me studying this whole course, I was like, no, there are people out there that may need my help. There are people out there that are suffering, but we are in a society or a community where community psychologists, maybe, I don't want to say they are few as such, but people don't know that they are here to actually help them. So basically, it may take you going to school to study, but also you're supposed to have that bit of passion and purpose for people. Yes.
To reach out to them and offer you services. Rather than, can you call in a course? Let me do it.
Just for
Mommy,
that
daddy
sake.
wants it. But what degree are we? Something like that. Sure. Wow, amazing. I'll get to Brenda. I'd love to hear your story.
Yeah, starting off with the mommy and daddy wants it for it. Typically, for me when I was starting, they did not want the psychology because it wasn't really a known course. There wasn't really much to it. But for me, as you said, you don't really know about psychology. It wasn't really known, but growing up, she wanted to be a lawyer. I just wanted to help people. So for me, it was more about how can I help people? What can I do to help people? And then I met a psychologist in my Form 6 back. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Till then, I met a psychologist. I don't even remember her name, but I was just somewhere, I was going through something. And then she said something, she just said a few words to me. And for me, that brought healing. And I was like, oh, I started asking her, what did she do? What did she do? And from then, it was just like, I want to do psychology. Applied. When you're feeling the courses you want to do, psychology day, evening. I just went on putting in psychology. I wanted it that badly. It's all I wanted to do. And for me, it has always, like, from then, it's like, it's all I want to do. I just want to help people. And if I can do it, like, with my words and just, it just makes me happy. So that's what I do.
Those around you must really be lucky. Those who are closer to you on a daily. Maybe something else. It's interesting if I took you through what I did, some of the course units that are really interesting that would make me want to go back to class. So I'm thinking psychology, community psychology. What are some of those course units that you looked at that were interesting? Oh. Is there so much of science?
Okay, like there was a course, human sexuality, and of course it was exciting in a way of now you're getting to the depth of it and not just the surface. And the most interesting part, as you're studying this course, the different course units also get to heal you as a person. Like you're studying to help people, but in most cases it's not so easy to help before you actually help yourself. So most of the courses we learned during the course of community psychology, in most cases were also impacting us. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Something interesting
For
that
me
you
it was,
picked up?
Yeah, for me it was the introduction to clinical psychology. You end up diagnosing yourself throughout the whole thing because you're looking at different disorders, you're looking at symptoms and you're learning about them, and now makes you reflect upon your life, like what do I have, what do I do, what do the people around me have. So it impacts you. By the time you leave the course, you have changed. So if you do community psychology and you leave without changing, then you aren't in the course. Usually by the time you finish the course, so many things have happened to you as a person. So it's really good.
Okay, so what sways you around? Like, there's so many cases. I know we all have different experiences. We live in different communities, and I'm sure you've encountered like different age brackets. What really takes you, like, puts you onto your toes? And you're like, oh my God, I wish they would overcome this. This is what I want to learn.
I go first?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay. The question, you're asking what can really put you on that bit of you want to see someone getting better, or I don't know if I got that question very well.
Yes.
Okay. In most cases, personally, when I started working, when you go for the one-on-one sessions and you get to actually know what this person is going through, somehow you feel like I'm supposed to help this person get better, like right here and then. And somehow it puts you on your toes, like you want to see someone getting better. But as you go through, like as the more time you go out there for those sessions, the more the more time you get to engage with the different clients, you get to understand that also this healing process is gradual. It's not going to just happen overnight. So you're not supposed to put yourself like on that bit of tension of this person is supposed to get better today. Though it was putting me on my toes, like the moment I go in for therapy, I want to go and make sure this person gets better there and then.
Well, Brenda, what has really been tough all through some of the cases that you've experienced?
I think for me, the tough cases would be the cases which involve violence, whether it's with children, especially with children, and then mothers. It really breaks me because sometimes you're seeing this person who is so broken, but then they're stuck there. Because usually when people have experienced gender-based violence, they don't want to leave. And then you're like, please leave, can you please leave? Like you're crying out to them, but you cannot force them. It's gradual, as Rona said. You're supposed to give them time, be patient with it. But yeah, it really breaks you when you're seeing them so broken and you can tell that they need you, but they can't really reach out. So that part really gets to me. It can break you actually. That's why I think we all, even as psychologists, we go for therapy. All the time. All the time.
Like monthly that you need, you also need it. Monthly or maybe at least once a week. You'd also go for it yourself.
For me, there was a time when I was going once a week because I had just started working and then it dawned on me. I'm like, people are going through this.
Before you realize you want to be a judge as well, turn out to be a lawyer and make this world a better place to live in.
I'm calling my therapist, I'm like, and then I'm going to therapy. You're paying for your own session, but you're going to your session telling your therapist. So, because you're not mentioning things, but you're like, so people are dealing with so much. So you're coming in to discuss the pain of other people. It's hurting you. You want to get the whole world and just bundle it up and take it. Yeah. It's a lot.
Wow. Reminds me of a lady in the neighborhood. Oh, I stay. I'm like, Are people really judging her, or maybe she could be having a problem by the without us knowing, because the way she's raising the children, a baby is just turning to be a year, and she just leaves the baby home with other young ones to raise her. And then you are like, the baby's always here crying, she's in pain, she's left in the cold, you get those things, you get disturbed. And then she's like, the baby's always here crying the whole day, and does she cry blood? And then I'm like, she could also be having a problem. Like you talked about the mothers and the children, you get so sensitive and you want to really help them out. Okay, if someone is out there trying to figure it out and they're like, okay, I think psychology would work for me, because at least I understand it could be flexible, because the others were turned out to get into other spaces. They're in media as well, but they've done psychology itself. For someone out there who wants to be like, turn out like Brenda, maybe Rona, and yes, this is who I want to become, to be a psychologist. What advice would you have for them?
There is that bit of passion and purpose. Before you actually go out there, like in school we had that bit of career, is it career education?
The career guidance.
Yeah, career guidance. But in most cases, like you said, someone may study psychology but may not end up actually practicing the psychology, because it's also a bit of a calling and also purpose. So if someone is out there and they would really want to take this on, maybe be psychologists and help people in the community, all those things, it's going to come back to you, discovering what your purpose is, what do you stand for, what do you really want to do, because it's not going to just take, I want to be a psychologist. Is it really in you at some point? What is the purpose? Okay, now you're a psychologist. What are you going to use that psychology for? So basically identifying your purpose and your passion, because it makes it easier for you to take it on.
I'm looking at Brenda and I'm thinking, making the world a better place. Women are nurturers, they're caregivers, and you want to put things right, in the right place, in the right direction. Someone out there wants to turn out to be like you. Some tips.
Work on yourself. That's the first tip that I would give, because throughout the course there is a way it makes you discover things about yourself. So the first thing that I would say is work on yourself. So what the passion that Rona is talking about, find out if that passion really runs deep, or are you trying to just heal yourself through the course? Will that go onto other people? Will you want to heal other people, or are you just looking for that for yourself? So work on yourself and really try to heal yourself first, or else you're going to hurt your clients. Try to heal yourself first so that you can give healing. You know that thing of you can't give what you don't have? Heal yourself first. So it's actually good that we start with a bachelor's, because then throughout the bachelor's you're getting a lot of healing. Go to therapy yourself. If you want to become a psychologist, see a psychologist, so that they give you what you will be giving to other people, so that you know that you're receiving and you're capable of giving it. So work on yourself first, honestly, and then do a volunteer. See if it actually fits, because for some people, so many people that we did undergrad with thought, oh, you would come be a psychologist, walk in, sit on a chair, listen to people, and problems are done. Volunteer and see what it actually is like, because it's more than that. It's more than just sitting down and listening to people and that's it. It's a lot of work. So try to give it time and do a lot of volunteer work building up to that. Ask people questions. It really helps out.
Okay, and how is the reception? Are you accepted as women in that field? Have you been supported? Because I know how it feels. You walk into an office and like, oh my God, she's this short and she's this small. Yeah, she's this young.
Yes. Yes.
How has it been like for you?
That one is very personal, because I've been there. I started practicing like in 2020 and I was 20 years. So you know how we go to the different communities, you do that bit of field work, then you try approaching someone, talking to them, I'm a psychologist, and you try explaining to them and they're looking at you like, what are you even telling me? Then you tell someone, it's okay to actually come and sit down and we talk about this. And the person is looking at you, you're not married, you don't have a child, you're just young. You understand, you're not yet there, because we need to appreciate where we are. We are not going to just wake up one day just because we have pursued the bachelor's, then we have all these things figured out. You understand? And then for people to actually trust you to come for help, in most cases, they want people that have been where they are. I worked with a rehabilitation center for drug addicts, and you would go and tell them acceptance is key, and they tell you, but counselor, have you even tried cocaine before? Like, do you know the way I feel when I use this heroin? And you're like, oh my God, I may not know. But we also see pediatric doctors. They're not kids. They're not babies. You understand? We also see like the gynecologists. You understand? Not all of them are women. So for our field, the fact that it's more of a trust transaction, for someone to come and confide in you, for someone to look at you and they feel like they can get that comfort from you, they have to trust you. And in most cases, for these people to trust us, they look at you, first, you're not married, you're very young. They look at you like you're not experienced, even though you've been to school and you've studied these things. The challenge is at some point they feel like you can't embody the message you're giving them because you've not experienced it. Like, not until I understood I'm not going to like wake up one morning and that big person they want to see. That's when I even started working on clients 60 years, and they trust you because you've accepted that, okay, this is the challenge, I can't run away from it, but that is not going to stop me from doing everything I have to do to help the people out there.
Okay. Well, Brenda, is it about practice what preach? You need to practice what you preach, or you need to be in those very shoes, be married so that I come and feed you with all my marriage issues, or be a parent for me to feed you what I go through with my children?
Honestly, we've studied these things, so we know what we are doing, but it's really a challenge, really, because working now for me, who is into a lot of maternal, like, are you a mother? How many kids do you have? All those things. Oh, have you experienced a miscarriage? Because now I'm doing research on miscarriage. Have you done this? And you're like, no, I have not. But I can be present for you. So usually what I tell people is, I do not know what you're going through. The reason as to why I'm a psychologist is to work with you. The client for us is the professional. So the client knows it all. So for me, my job is to work with you, for you to teach me so that I can support you. I'm not here to take away your, to just embody your role. No, I am here to stand by you, to help you walk, to just walk this journey with you. So usually it's a we. It's not I want to take your problems. I want to help you. No,
it's like I can't go there. Do you know what is going to happen? Whatever I already have the answers. Whatever I'm going to explain to the psychologist, I mean, I'm feeding her the answers. So she's going to tell me what to do, but I'm done with the answers. So why bother to go there?
We actually don't tell you what to do, though. I think that's rule one. You do not tell the client what to do. Those arguments
come through.
Sure. Sure.
So, and then about the services themselves, they're like, so expensive. That's what they say. Tell us about the affordability of the service, like, or it varies what my experience is about or what my situation is. It's all the same. I'm a client.
Sandra, do you want to be a client?
No, I've had the stories that run through what people talk about in real life. They're like, I cannot go and see a psychologist because it's expensive. And then people really think, the fact that you've got to that bit of you really want to get a psychologist, they're like, no, we have to take them to a mental institute or
facility.
Something. Yes.
So starting with the services and the prices, there is a standard price for sessions, and in most cases, the reason as to why actually people look at the services and feel like they're really expensive, it's because they do not understand. If you understand that, like you understand the service you're receiving, somehow you're going to appreciate it enough and pay for it. But there is that bit of lack of awareness and stigma around it. But for the services, I actually see it all over, and it also it's a challenge to us, because I was on the internet sometime and someone said psychologists, therapists, those people are scam, like they are a scam. You understand? And I was like, where is this coming from? The other challenge with the prices, some people overcharge. They go beyond just the standard price. And why that happens, in most cases, like you said, for people to come for therapy, for people to decide, okay, now I need to go and see a psychologist. In most cases, they are in that state where things are really, really bad.
So I have to pay for every session? It's like a prescription that you're taking this, you're taking the tablet for 5 days. So you're like, sessions, maybe a week will be enough for you to get better, or maybe a month. So there's that bit of understanding.
It's like a treatment program. It's a whole program. Like we diagnose you that, let me say, for example, you're going through depression or this kind of disorder or whatsoever, then we do a treatment program for you. So we can have up to 12 sessions for someone to get better. Like we said, it's a process. So why people say therapists are a scam, they come for therapy thinking they're going to feel better right there and then. But in most cases, I usually tell people, this is something you've been carrying for like 10 years, let me say, and you expect a human being who cannot even like just do magic right there and then for you to be okay, to cure you in 2 weeks, or even 1 session.
Oh, wow. Brenda, would you love to add a voice to that?
Yeah, the whole magic part. People really think we can do magic. They say, I come to you and I should leave feeling better. But the thing is, you'll come to therapy and you leave feeling worse sometimes. True. Because you'll go to therapy thinking, oh, I'm going to talk about this. But while I ask questions, something will come up. And then I'll unlock something. Yes, we do not leave our clients on that high, what we call on a high when they're
You take the tablets that make you weaker, and then you have to rest?
Exactly. It's the same thing. So why not apply? Like usually, actually, we use analogies. We'll be like, if you had a broken leg, would you still want to work? So if you're taking the tablets, the doctor is going to tell you, oh, you're going to have to sleep, you're going to make you weaker. It's the same thing. You're going to come for therapy. You're going to have to unlock these things, and so you're going to have to take a step back, rest a little, walk through things. But people really don't get that at first until they are in it and then they experience it. Then maybe that makes sense after, and then they understand the pricing.
Okay, as a woman, we're here to celebrate the women. As a woman in your field, community psychologist, I know one would think, is it door-to-door services? Since they're in the community, how do we find them? And then away from that, I know it's a gradual process, like she puts it. How has it shaped you as a person? I'll start with Brenda.
Honestly, for me, I believe psychology.
Do you want to stay there? What fuels you up? You're like, today, violence. Today, this is going to come up.
No, I really want to stay there. I'm currently doing my master's already. So for me, psychology is it for me. I love it. I love what I do, and I think it has helped me become a better person throughout the education, working with other people. But you see, we help our clients heal, but our clients heal us in so many ways. I think I've learned so much from the people that I've worked with, learned so much. So for me, it has made me a better person. Even how I interact with the people in my personal life, I listen to them more. I pay attention to them more. I'm like, oh, are you good? I'm more present. There are things that Rana asks me sometimes. She's like, how are you? And I'm like, I'm okay. She's like, how are you really? And I'm like, she's playing psychologist with me right now. But I get it, because sometimes you're like, I'm okay, because that's the answer. But now I've also learned that like people have that automatic answer. So you need to dig deeper and ask questions. So really,
I know, I also don't like it most times. You're like, someone, how are you? I'm okay. I want them to add, what is okay? It's a beautiful morning. I feel okay. You get it? Yeah. I'm happy to be here.
Sure.
Well, Rana, what's it for you? Would you love to stay? How has it shaped you as a person? The fact that we come to you and we drain you, we go back energized.
Honestly, the thing is, people look at us as we are, as strong, I should put it. Like they look at you and they're like, but for you, can't even be depressed. They really feel like you have it all together. So that part of whether I want to stay or I want to go, I want people to know that it's not a straight path. Just because you know how people go through certain things, just because you're also healing, doesn't mean that, okay, you're there and you're having like the best time of your life. You understand? Like in life, at some point you may feel like one leg is here, one leg is here. But that's where purpose comes in. It's purpose that reminds you, however much things are not really easy, this is what it requires you to actually just be put out there for other people to feel like Rona is doing this. You understand? They look at you and they feel like she can push on, meaning I can also push on. So for me, I would feel like this journey, the more reason I want to stay is that we are not even yet there. We are not yet there.
As community psychologists, as the nation,
as the sector,
as the sector itself in general.
Yes, as the sector in general, we are not yet there. So the few of us that God has, I usually put it like that, God has put us there. Like we are not doing this on our own. You understand? The fact that God has put us there, God, like we have been equipped with this knowledge, like there is still so much to do in the field. So I don't want to go. I don't want to leave, not until there is a foundation for this sector that even when you go out there and you tell a hospital, I'm a psychologist, they will appreciate you. They will not put you down to that point of maybe we need a psychiatrist or maybe a counselor, because we are at a point where psychology is misunderstood or it is not yet fully embraced. So the main reason, personally, I would not want to go right now, it's because we are still sowing seeds, we are still in that season of preparation, and there is something that we want to attain.
What you sow is what you reap. Those are women for you. Strong women. That is why we do celebrate them and appreciate them, like she puts it. I'll get to Brenda, find out. One women to have a conducive environment, and I love the way you put it and stress it out clearly. What would you see, what would you wish to see change for you to have a conducive environment as a woman psychologist?
Things that I would love to see change. Rona has mentioned the difference between, because it's mental health is broad and there are those, oh, are you a counselor, are you a psychiatrist, are you this? I would want that to be cohesive, for everyone to know where they are. And yes, we work together because psychologists cannot work alone. It's all a network. But if we all knew where we stood and then there was acceptance, if people were accepted, you know, the thing that you mentioned when someone says, oh, I need to see a psychologist, like, for you need Butabika. That needs to change. People need to know that just because I need help, that doesn't make me weak. Just because I said I need help, that doesn't mean, oh, I'm so badly off. Because mental health is
run away from you.
Exactly. Mental health is on a spectrum. I can be sad and still be able to function. I can be depressed but still be able to do daily things. And then there are those who are depressed and then they're hallucinating, they're seeing things, they're hearing voices. It's all depression, it's all mental health struggle, but it's all in a spectrum. So what I would like to see for the women is, let it be, because already people say, you are a woman, already women get that support. Already women support each other. No, we need it to be more. We need it to be intentional. So if we're intentional about the help we offer to the women, we're intentional about the things that we do, we know that this person does this, that person does that, I need to go to this person, and it's okay for us to ask for help. It doesn't make a woman weaker, because women are supposed to be strong. So why are you saying that you have postpartum depression? Because I've had those things, the thing of, oh, you've given birth, and after giving birth, you're supposed to be happy you've received your baby, but there are women who give birth and they want to be mothers, but then they get depressed because sometimes it's out of your control, sometimes it's the hormones, the genes, but people don't get that. So I want to get to a point where people get it. People understand that mental health issues, like, they're out of our control. A person does not walk in and choose, oh, I want to do this. Because even with addictions, someone does not choose to be addicted. They start using. So many people drink beers, but not all of them are addicted. But then there are those who are addicted to alcohol. So just for people to know that it's not a choice, it's a disease. You don't choose to get malaria. You also don't choose to get depression.
Sure.
Wow, I love that. You just wake up and you have a cold. You didn't wish for it. It just comes. Okay, that's a very good example. Speaking about appreciation, let's spread some love.
I would love to spread love to the women, like the first thing I would actually say is I would want to spread love to UBC and for this particular platform where actually it melts my heart on a very personal level. Like, have been in this field for not like I don't want to say like a long time, because time of study, then time of practice doesn't equate to like 10 years. But honestly, if I have to tell you, it is not easy. It's not easy at all, because we are living in a community where I don't want to say we are not appreciated, but we are not understood. And it is very hard for someone to appreciate you when they do not understand you. So the moment you say you're a psychologist, someone is going to be like, okay, now you can read my mind. To the point that me, I was stigmatized as I was working with a certain organization I was working with. And people would be like, but you guys, mugende yo, olikola kubalalu, gwetola luke. You understand? So I would want to appreciate all the people that actually see what we are doing, and people who support us, and those people who actually support us without even knowing what we are doing, mostly. But definitely, it's all love. Yes, that's all I have to say.
Beautiful. Brenda, please spread some love.
For me, appreciate.
After the show, you really have to give her a good hug.
Oh yeah, I really have to. She's great. Actually, when I start appreciating, the first thought people to appreciate is the ladies within my field itself. Because the people that I study with right now at graduate level, the people I studied with at undergraduate, the people that I work with, you find them checking on you because they get it. They know that it can be hard. You will tell someone, oh, I'm going to see this client and all of this. And then they'll wait for the hours to pass and they'll call you, how was session? How are you? Because they know it will take a toll on you. So I just want to appreciate them. And then it's positive because for us in our field, they're also men and they're self-aware men. So right now, most of the people that teach me at graduate level are men, but they are good. They are aware. You tell them, today, I'm not okay. Today, like, I really don't feel like I need a mental health day. And they will get it. So I just want to appreciate those. But even in my life in itself, there are so many men and women who get it. There's so many women who do not even know what psychologists do, but just because you tell them, my job is to help people, they're like, because you're giving up your life to help other people, we want to help you. They will try and be kinder to you. For me, I love kind people. I'm always telling people, be kind, be kind. So I just want to appreciate people who take that step to just be kinder to people, people who take the initiative to help other people. To appreciate you for calling on other women and just empowering them and just being there and giving them like a platform to be heard and to say something.
Well, at the end of the day, don't people run away from you like Brenda is going to look at me from head to toe and she'll definitely read my mind. Does it happen to you?
Sometimes. Oh, sometimes you tell someone, like you're like, oh, did you? Because sometimes you get it, especially if you've interacted, like with my friend, if you've interacted with someone for a while, you can tell. It's like the clients. That's why you cannot tell from session 1. Sometimes you don't know your client, but like session 5.
But you can tell they're either lying.
You can tell. By session 5, you can tell. So sometimes with my friend, they'll say something, and I'll be like, but are you really okay? Your voice cracked like this, and they're like, Brenda is doing it.
There you go.
Yeah, it's the same thing that I tell her, and I'm like, sometimes you're going with things.
You have to
like,
really be careful.
Don't play psychologist with me. It's not the time. But yeah,
the other times it's part of you. You just want to help.
You cannot turn it off. Really, it's part
You're
of
like, our office is office.
Office is office.
And now we're out with Bades.
Yeah, I think that's the difference.
It just comes to you because it's your inner voice telling you.
Very true. I think that's the difference with other jobs. A lawyer will leave work, leave the court cases.
Can be the case.
And like at you,
I think it's also good to, like, at some point, like, for instance, to just be like, today, let me not go there, like, because the moment you start, I get it, like, when you're with your friends and you're trying to put up an opinion, then you start, but you guys, the moment, even before you start, they're like, now you're gonna let you interview. So it is actually healthy for us at some point to step out of that element. Like, it is very healthy not to just go around diagnosing your friends at some point,
but
because
you realize they're not free with you.
Yes, and also like relationship wise, when it comes to like also family, like your mom can do something and you're like, Isn't my
sit down with her?
isn't it a disorder there?
At her maybe age bracket or
I know.
something.
So it's not good. Sometimes like it's good to like okay, like you said, office is done.
Office is done.
Let me try to just a bit.
I know it
Yeah.
happens. Like you reach home and you want to watch TV. So you go through, you flip through the channels. As you flip, you're like, there's a mistake here. How can they do so? You change to another channel. I know it happens, but
And
you're like,
it's not healthy.
it's not healthy.
It's not healthy. It's not at all. Mostly in relationships.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like in relationships, as
Your
you're trying
siblings, you like her
to,
own
yes, even the romantic relationships for ladies and also the gentlemen. Like someone can just come and they're like maybe, and you're like when I see nasty stone. Oh no, you understand? So you end up maybe making it hard for you to just go out there and just be like. So we should try to put that element out because it's going to limit us. Though it's not easy to take it out. Yes.
Wow. Before we let you go enjoy your day, maybe something you'd love to share with whoever's been watching you and they've been inspired.
For me, something that I would love to say is it's normal to ask for help. So what I want to tell people is that if you're dealing with something, if you're feeling like something is heavy on your chest, there are people that are willing to help you. We are here to help you. So if you feel like you're dealing with something, please reach out. Even we ask for help. We are psychologists, and sometimes there is that knowledge of drowning fish. Like, why do fish drown? They're supposed to be swimmers. They're already in the water. So why are fish drowning? So the same thing of why are psychologists being depressed. We also deal with things. So if we who have all this knowledge and all these resources on our hands are dealing with things, then what about you who doesn't have the resources? No one has taught you how to see the symptoms. No one has taught you how to deal with them when they come. So if you're dealing with anything and you really need help, it's totally okay to ask for help. So don't feel like it makes you weaker. It actually makes you stronger.
I wish they would understand that. Actually makes you stronger. How can they find you? Any socials or something?
Yes. So I am on Twitter, Brenda Nalugo. I also have a podcast where I just go off about different topics, and it really helps because sometimes you meet people and they're like, I listened to this episode and you said this and it really resonated with me. So also going through, it's called Once Upon a Life Podcast, and you can also find me on LinkedIn, Brenda Nalugo. Yes.
It's called Once Upon a Time?
Podcast, yes.
Okay, that's really, really interesting. Well, Rona, words of inspiration, and how can someone find you?
Okay, I would really start by appreciating UBC once again, because personally, yes, I am a psychologist, but I'm a mental health advocate. So every chance, every time someone offers you, even if it's just 5 minutes, to just go out there and advocate, to just go out there and speak. Yes, it's just the two of us, like me and Brenda here, standing in for psychologists, but you don't know how many people behind that you've uplifted. Like so many people, like Brenda was saying, the parents will be like, why are you studying psychology? People don't know it. So every time you get this chance for people to learn and to learn from you, the people that are in your circles and even the people that are not, let me say in your circles whatsoever, they are seeing you and they are getting inspired. They know I'm not studying this community psychology to just go all in vain. So me, as we go off, I don't know, other people should pick a leaf.
Instead of just doing it for like it's the in thing.
Yes.
It sounds cool to just be a psychologist.
Yes. But other people with a bigger platform, or like not just us, because we cannot do this on our own. But if UBC is here, like to support, also other platforms should pick a leaf from UBC, yes, to just say, let's give these young women a platform to go out there and speak. Because we are living in a world where, like, for you to just be looked at as someone who can do something, you have to be like grown up, big and all that. So I want to thank people like you who give people like us a chance. Because as you're giving me a chance, you're giving another person a chance. You're supporting another person's dream. So as we go off, this is not a wave. Mental health is not a wave, you people. People are actually suffering. it is not a wave, it is not something we just want to talk about. We are laying a foundation, and it's supposed to be, it can't be only one person pushing for it. We need support in terms of, if you see someone and you can support them in whatever way, support them so that they don't break as they are pushing for another person that is already broken. Like, so definitely that's what I can say. Yeah, that's what I can say.
That's
really.
the attitude.
Yeah.
And how can someone get Rona?
I'll give out my number because I started an initiative for mobile counseling. Since we are just starting, you may not have like a big office for people to find you, and the fact that therapy at some point is really expensive. So I want people to call me. Like, I want people to know that there is someone that is here for them. Are you going through depression? Do you have anything that you feel like you need someone to talk to? I'm here, and you can talk to me. I'll read out my number, 0708 124745. 0708 124745. You can reach out to me anytime for help, and you should know there is someone who cares for your mental well-being.
Beautiful. Can I really add on anything? You know how it feels for someone to be like they're here for you? And it's good to know that it's coming through at the National Broadcaster as we inspire you, appreciating and celebrating. Today we've been appreciating Rona, just next to me, as well as Brenda at the extreme end, celebrating them. They're representing the psychologists out there. As you enjoy this day, go and celebrate people, appreciate them, don't take them for granted. It's been an honor spending time with you.
Thank you so much.
Wish you all the
Sandra.
best.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's all we had time for today's episode. My name is Sandra Kahunde, and our guest for the day I was joined by Rona Namatovu and Nalugo Brenda. They've given you their contacts. Look out for them, follow them up, and get more inspiration. They're community psychologists. So if it's something that you really want to do, go for it. And don't forget to celebrate the women as you enjoy the day. We salute the men, the different organizations that embrace the women and give them space to carry on with their work and appreciate them on a daily. God bless you. We love you, and keep watching the National Broadcaster. Salute.